I'll be reacting to Soaring Sky Precure episode 37. I'll give it like 166 and I'll be watching off Crunchroll's upside and I'll start my reaction in 1-0 go. Ooh boy. Really curious about this one because I'm eagerly anticipating. Oh no, I shouldn't say anticipate. I'm eagerly curious to see if Toei is actually going to be able to maintain consistency with this series. I like the way she says little. It's precious. Yeah, that's what I love about Lee. Like you can tell her love for the whole crew in the series is really legit. Yo, it always is a treat seeing young Agaha though. Reasonable, all things considered. And plus, it makes her all the better too, actually. Things are real when even Ellie wants to know that so badly. I'm guessing it could have either been similar hobbies or maybe they just like, I was gonna say they just like each other's company, but that'd be too easy because it's a given if you're friends at that point. Yo, right. Hey, Queen Ellie said it, so they might as well go with it. Man, I love how fluid the animation for the opening is. Kick you one. Like all things considered, this opening is one of the few that actually can get me at least pumped up every week. Well, at least every week I keep up with the series consistently and I check out the opening and can get me pumped up. Because I can tell you this much. The only reason why I was off with the series is because it's stretch of slow episodes. But the opening is one of the few things where I can be like, you know what? The stuff behind the series really landed beautifully and crafted such a magnificent piece of animation. Speaking of which, man, I'm kind of glad that this series has got 50 episodes because I did at least keep up with some of the news on Twitter that it was able to snag that, which is cool because don't get me wrong, 40 episodes for a Precure series is nice, but 50, I guess depending on the series, 50 could be too much, but in this instance, this series kind of does need every little episode it can actually get, so I'm actually pretty cool with that. What's up, Sparrow Matt? Here's the thing, Sparrow Matt. I actually enjoyed the previous two episodes, but I didn't like the previous 3 or 4 episodes before that, so far, Sparrow Matt, this series has had more episodes that have pissed me off than have made me happy, if I'm being honest. So for the most part, this series is really inconsistent. I don't mind the CGI truck too much as long as the action scenes look good. But yeah, it would be nice if they hand drew that thing. But as far as the CGI there, it wasn't even like the tires didn't even look like they were moving. Like sometimes the CGI for the truck is pretty bad. But hey, you know what? At the very least, this is one of the better looking Precure series, at least in the 2020s. I would even put this above Healing Good, and Healing Good had stable production values up until COVID-19 decided to rear its ugly head and affect its animation quality. I wouldn't blame him for being cautious because, yeah, Ellie might have abilities to maybe communicate with animals. You'd would rather be playing it safe than sorry there. I mean, we're talking about she a baby there. I'm sure they'll find it eventually, Spiral Man. It's just only a matter of time, is all. I answer that's cute when even when she says things like no fine tune. Oh my goodness, man. It's pretty adorable. Speaking of which, Spiral Man ended up being right on the whole the Precure adult characters being a disappointment. You heard about that, right? Spiral Man? The let's see. The Power of Hope, Precure Full Bloom. Where that series had an ending where you had like some kind of ending that had kind of elements of grooming in it because the main character hooked up with the character that she knew when she was still a young girl, but that character was an adult age character in the previous series, and yeah, she may be an adult in the sequel series, still makes it awkward. So my prediction, Spider-Man of the adult Precure series going falling off the cliff, ended up being right. I even heard the villain. I even saw that people didn't even like the villain. I'm like, who could have foreseen this? Who could have foreseen this? It's like, my goodness, it feels like from out all the negative. I love this. But yeah, it feels like all my predictions when it comes to Predicure, all the negative ones end up being right. I'm like, how do I do it? How do I keep on doing this? And no, I honestly want a Predicure series to prove me wrong, but so far they've proven me right. I'm like, oh boy, when am I going to get a Predicure series that proves me wrong? Because I've been right 4 times now. Four out of four. Yeah, because Healing Go was my first one, so I didn't make any predictions on that one. But then I saw Tropical Rogue, then Delicious Party, then Soaring Sky, then the adult one. Yeah, I'm 4-4 right now when it comes to Precure. I've been proven right every time. I've been keeping track of it. My hit rate with Precure is high. And it depends though. I mean, if someone's a nature loving nut, then maybe, yeah, there's a high chance that'd be a good memory. Well, yeah. And now they don't find that it's going to be a negative memory for Ellie, so they better be trying to go for that as quickly as possible. Woo! Hey, good thing we have athletes. Well, I'm actually surprised Sabasa got it before Sora did. But then again, I mean, I guess Sabasa's decently athletic too. So you know what? I gotta give a cute little Birdo a little bit more credit on his athletic capabilities at the very least. She's being humble. What she made looks like it actually does taste absolutely special. Straight up. I'd imagine the animal they had was slaughtered for food. I wouldn't be surprised. No, seriously, I wouldn't like that goat there looks like it'd be for some damn good chops. My goodness, barbecue chops. Yo, I can already imagine the flavor. Yo, gotta be simple. There's gotta be way more to it than that. She's actually right. I look at the picture and I think, I love that cockiness, man. That's what really makes her such a darn nice character. I like that pic. It looks nice. That scarecrow there looks like it'd make for some darn nice target practice. At least that's the only thing that's on my mind when I see that thing. I could either imagine Spearhead and you get making either that tree stump as an enemy or that as an enemy. One of the two. Knowing him, he would be enough of a troll to try that. At least that's my prediction for this week's episode. Whoa, okay, She-Man strength. My goodness. Oh man, that's actually pretty adorable. I like this because it's a minor cut. Yo, if this was in Mexico, they'd be like, let me get some alcohol on that and put it on the wound and put a band-aid. It will not be let's go to a hospital because everyone around would be too poor or at least not have enough money to go to a hospital. I mean, most people wouldn't. Hell, not even that, not even just Mexico. Like even some of the poorest parts in the US, that would be like, hospital, can't afford that. Because at least depending on your wages in the area you live in, like just a single work, like 2 days of work would be enough just to pay a simple hospital visit. Not even that wouldn't even be enough to actually pay for a visit like a 1 day. You would probably need a day and then at half of another to even be able to pay for a hospital visit, at least in some of the areas in the US. So that right there would not even be the first thing to mind. My first thing about me, like, okay, gotta get some bandies and some alcohol. And then if it's bad and it gets some really, and I mean really bad, then hospital afterwards. At least that'd be my first thought because I'd be fearful for my wallet or the wallets of the people around me. Because unfortunately, at least in a lot of areas in the world, the world raw on money. Yeah, I just love how she clearly communicates towards the scroll. Oh man, that is so cool. Oh man, that made the photo better though. So that really isn't much of a loss there. We really need this. No, seriously, what? Because there's the thing about Precure. It's like you don't even need Scarehead here. He literally is just there to fill in time. I agree too, Sprung out. What was the point of Scarehead? I feel like they had him here just to not bore the audience to death, even though this episode was good without Scarehead. Like it wasn't boring. I was enjoying myself. I was like, wow, a good episode. Maybe we'll get an episode without Scarehead. And this series is like, nope, we're gonna have this guy. I'm like, Precure. You don't need Scarehead every single week. You don't. Because the more you use him, the more he's gonna look like a loser when he loses. This the issue with Precure utilizing having a fight almost every week. Because if you have a fight every week, then when the villain loses, they're gonna look like an absolute chump, like a joke. They're gonna look like an imbecile. They're gonna look like an incompetent buffoon. They're gonna look like a bamboozled simp for their empress. They're gonna look as threatening as a baby chihuahua. That is where I'm at with Scarehead. I don't even respect him as a villain. I have more respect for the common cold and Kaguya-sama Love is War. The common cold and Kaguya-sama Love is War is more epic and dangerous than than the whole history of Scarehead because Scarehead is pathetic. He is pathetically weak. And the thing is, the more losses we get, the more pathetic he's gonna lose. He's gonna look. That's why when it came to like the action, don't get me wrong. I mean, I like action and all, but if you have too much action scenes with the villain losing, they're gonna look pathetic. And I mean, I agree, Spawn. Now, what's the point of this? Like, I'm wondering, what's like, did we really need Scarehead to lose for like the hundredth? I've honestly lost track of how many times he's lost. I mean, the animation doesn't look absolutely terrible, though. That's something, I guess. I mean, this episode's still good, obviously. Like, I'm not gonna hate on the episode. I actually really like this episode, but Scared being in it just makes this episode less good, though. Well, yeah, I mean, the animation's average. I mean, it's not terrible by any means. Whoop de doo, he has two bamboos. That is so cool. Okay, that's terrible because literally Elytron's one of the best fighters. Why in the world did you need to watch that thing to be attacked? Was this just put in there to have Tsubasa do a Princess Scary attack? Like Elytron should be the type to not. Okay, that instance was really badly storyboarded because if you're gonna have Ellie saved by Tsubasa, have it to where the enemy is forcing Ellie to be on the sky where she can dodge the attack. Then it'll force Tsubasa to Princess Carry. What what were the writers thinking for this fight scene? Did they even think before they put oh my goodness. Whoever's in charge of writing the fight scenes in this episode needs to learn how to write a fight scene. Don't get me wrong, there's some brilliance here. Like her freezing the mobility of that thing is good and all, but oh my goodness. It is for the Princess fight scene did not need to be here. At all. Hmm. And which is this back then all I can do is watch. Hmm. Does that plot point even need to be there? Because she was already fighting before I got even joined the team. So does a point like that even need to be said? I'm serious. Like she was doing this Precure business before Gal was even hmm, like at least a good 20 some episodes before Gal even came Precure. Oh no, I mean this fight scene had a few questionable things going for it. Like Ellie-chan just standing there, allowing herself to almost get hit. Them being saved Tsubasa was one of the bad things about it. Don't get me wrong, I like the Princess Carry itself, Just the execution of that could have been better, but this episode of Precure is still good. I mean, despite the downside, this is still a good episode. I'm not hating on it, but this fight scene actually drags the episode down a little bit. I'd be kind of alive. I'm like, oh yeah, this fight scene doesn't affect the episode. No, it does a little bit because it makes Ellie look like a less competent fighter. And after the last few episodes have built her up to be the be all end all, to be the Precure, to be the bestest Precure ever, kind of feels out of the left field that she will just almost let herself be attacked for like no good reason in that small bit of a fight. Overall, though, still a fun episode, though. And again, I enjoyed it. But wow. That's pretty much Soren's. I mean, at this point, the only way they're going to have him answer is to beat the living crud out of him because, save for doing that, he really isn't under obligation to like answer their questions, unfortunately for them. Yeah, they should keep that photo because it's actually kind of funny looking. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Hmm. I mean, all things considered, they all look funny though. Hmm. God, I mean, it's actually a nice slice of life building episode. And I really do like the optimism here. Like overall, this episode did its job and being enjoyable. Overall, if I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, of 1 being abysmal, 5 being average, and 10 being exceptional, here's what I'm going to rate it. I'm going to give it a score of a 6 out of 10, just slightly above average. Would have been a 7 out of 10, but I had Doc up before me because let's be real. It unnecessarily made Ellie a little bit incompetent when she had to be princess carried by Swanson. Don't get me wrong. I like the princess scary stuff usually, but she literally was standing there about to be attacked during a fight scene. And that was kind of like, couldn't the storyboarders in this episode have storyboarded a better fight scene? But other than the action, everything else is better written though because there was good character development. It was nice seeing Ageha, Mashro, and everyone else bond with each other. That was nice. I thought the comedy was good. I even liked the cute little bits where Ellie-chan interjects. So, this episode negatives? Yeah, it did, but I feel like the positives did outweigh the negatives by a good degree. And in spite of some of the issues, I'm still going to rate this as an above average episode. But yeah, obviously, though, with this series having unnecessary fight scenes, this series is just going to make Scarehead look like an absolute joke. Because that's what he is. He's a joke. I don't think I even have a friend who's watching this too. Even he says Scarehead's a joke. Like you can't take him seriously. Yeah, I don't like the random enemies either. But hey, next episode looks better though. It looks slightly better. Oh yeah, you're right. It does look like a filler episode. Oh wait, that looks like the Power Ranger parody like episode that a friend told me that was a really bad episode. He sent me a picture. Oh yeah, it is. Oh boy. Yeah, it's from apparently. I heard it's one of the worst Predictor episodes from my friend. I remember, at the preview, he showed me a picture. He's like, "This is how bad it is." I'm like, "Oh boy." I can't wait to get to this episode. And yeah, this is the one. Yay! Precure, Soaring Sky Predictor is back to its streak of having middling episodes again. I mean, I guess the series couldn't last too long having too many good episodes. We had to add a sinker eventually because it's Precure way. We can't have a single Precure series that doesn't struggle and stumble a few times in the middle. They all struggle and stumble in the middle. If they don't struggle and stumble in the middle, then it wouldn't be Precure anymore. Instead, it'd be a really competently written, well done Metro World series. And we can't have that in Precure. That's not allowed to exist. We can never have that. Because if it did, it probably disturb the natural order of the world. And that'd probably be bad for Mother Nature. At least that's the rationale. That's the cope I'm using, the coping mechanism to try to justify why Precure is the way it is. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the next episode's from. I'll react to the next episode whenever I feel like it. I'm not excited for it. I'm not gonna rush to react to it. I'm like meh, meh. Don't really care. I'll react to it when I get a chance. So I mean, I'll see y'all. I feel like so, so yeah, there you have it. Thing is, though, it's pretty crisp. The fights. It's hard for them to even make. But anyways, thank you to Sprout Else for watching my video. I hope you have a great day and night. Bye bye, everyone.